Let's get to Delta. Delta's up 5% today, reported earnings, solid earnings, and still off its all-time high, which was close to 70, like $69. In April, it was 39, fell below 40, and now it's up there. And these forecasts where they raise numbers, when I look at them, when you raise guidance is great, but they also lowered their guidance, I think, a couple of quarters ago, maybe for this year. And these new estimates that they raise are still below the original estimates. Right. So that's why you're probably not seeing the stock at an all-time high. But this is a name that's probably going to continue to go higher. I think Airlines realized probably about 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, that we're a necessity. We have unlimited pricing power. We have no competition. Right. No one's going to come into this market ever again. So we're going to raise prices tremendously. And they didn't realize how much they could raise prices until the last 2 years. Because I don't know, Daniel, if you booked the flight lately. I'm not kidding. The prices, even the Vegas, the Consumer Electronics Show, I used to go there for $400, booked 3 months ahead. It's like $700. They might put you up at $450, but that's like taking a red eye, right? And the worst times, and you're going to get there. It's horrible. It doesn't fit your schedule. If you want to get there a little early, whatever. They're raising prices tremendously, and they could afford to because they're very smart from a business sense. It sucks from a consumer stance because if you have to travel, people have to travel, right? It's a necessity. And if you have to travel, you need to take an airline. There's not too many. And when you're looking at Frontier, you're looking at Southwest delays like crazy. You're looking at a lot of those discounted airlines are really sucky where you're seeing the performance really horrible. You hear it, just talk to people. They're like, I'm never taking JetBlue again or anything, right? They just can't take it. And they're taking Delta, they're taking United, American, and you could argue if you talk to 10 different people, they're going to give you different answers on which ones they like. But I could tell you when it comes to Delta, newest fleets, best service, but you're paying for it. It's really expensive. And the pricing for these airlines, they're now growing. They expect to grow earnings at 15%. 15% they're growing earnings. So we used to look at airlines as low single-digit PE companies because they used to not grow that fast. It's not that great. Depending on what oil prices are, that impacts costs and things like that. Well, their projected earnings will grow 15%. That's much faster than the overall market, and the stock's trading at 9 times earnings. So when I look at that, I see a lot of upside ahead, especially when a company has pricing power. But Delta said, this is what they said. It saw a surge in premium business travel led by increased pricing, which stems from reduced capacity. So these guys lowered the capacity, right? This way there's less supply, and now with the supply that's available, they will charge much, much higher prices. And that's what they're doing, and I'm seeing it personally, where I'm switching from Delta to other places because it's literally 30% higher to fly Delta than it is for American and United. For me personally, where I'm flying from. That's from Jacksonville, which doesn't go direct all the way to the West Coast. You got to take 2 flights to a lot of different places. That's where I am. It's different from everyone. The Delta hub's right next to me in Atlanta. You look at the hubs where they are. Sometimes you get prices a little cheaper on much better planes, the newer versions, every Wi-Fi, nice seats and everything. Or you fly JetBlue where you look and the plane's like from 1980 something and you could tell. Right, you could tell your TV it doesn't work. You got to jiggle the thing for the direct TV. It's so bad, these flights. When you see how old these flights are, but Delta's kicking ass, good quarter. And I think that guidance is probably conservative, to be honest with you, because they're making a shitload of money. There's massive demand on these flights, and they've done a good job there from a corporate standpoint. But from a consumer, you're really feeling it from airlines because, man, those prices have gone up, especially over the past 6 months. But even over the last 2 years. When you have to travel, you have pricing power. I think they finally realize we have a good business. And it is a good business. When you go on earnings 15% higher than the market and you're still trading at a multiple that says you're a value or you're an airline, it doesn't really go. Remember, this segment behind airlines that they sucked. Warren Buffett said, quickest way to lose all your money is buy an airline. And then he went and bought one. And he was a huge Delta shareholder. And then he whipsawed out of it at the lowest point, at pretty much the lowest point, and it's gone straight up since then. So again, I'm not picking on the guy who's the greatest investor in the world. I'm just saying sometimes we get it wrong. Everybody gets it wrong, right? You just want to limit your risk when you do get it wrong. And Buffett is one of the greatest investors ever. I think you'll really love Wall Street Unplugged Premium. The Wall Street Unplugged Premium is my members-only podcast where I dive even deeper into this week's events. I'll tell you specifically what moves you can make today. Specific investment ideas I'm recommending and tracking each week. Also, the news we're picking up from our network of insiders. And becoming a member is super simple and super cheap. So head on over to WSUoffer.com to check it all out. Sign up today and you won't miss a thing. That's WSUoffer.com.